Robert, congratulations on your nomination, and thank you for an outstanding statement. And as I read it the night before last, before I met with you yesterday, I thought about what a compelling statement it was and how appropriate it was for the challenges that we face. But I want to repeat here what I told you yesterday, because there needs to be nobody out there that misses or has any equivocation about what we're looking to. You are getting an agency that has had its problems, an agency that represents the promises we've made to those who served and risked their lives for our country, an agency that's in need of help, an agency that we're all proud of and want to be more proud of. Senator Tester and his Democratic side of the aisle and me and ours on this side have done everything we could in the last year and a half, from accountability to COLA increases to everything in the world we could do to make the VA, to respond to the questions the VA has had. You mentioned the $200 million infusion as well, or $1 billion infusion. Mr. Wilkie, there are no excuses anymore. Failure is not an option. We know what the problems are. We know what we need to do to take them. We stand ready to be right and be the wind at your back and to have your back, to see to it our veterans get what they fought for and risked their lives for. The American people see us reward them with the type of service the VA ought to have given always, and I think will give now and in the future. So that's my one admonition. Whatever my phone number you've got, I'm on duty 24/7 when it comes to the VA. If you have a problem, you call us, because we want to fix it before it festers, not wait for it to fester. Now, when you say customer service to a veteran, tell me what customer service to a veteran means to you.
Customer service, Mr. Chairman, means that before the veteran walks into the door of the VA, he has already been greeted through schedulers, through medical professionals, with Americans who are ready to serve him. I noted that in some of the debates that this committee had, the greatest problem that you all saw was actually getting the veteran through the door. I have no doubt that VA provides some of the finest care in America, but I also understand that getting to that care is something that the leadership of the Veterans Affairs Department has to focus in on like a laser beam. World-class customer service is the key. And that ties into something that you and I talked about in your office, and that goes to human resource management. The first people our veterans contact are usually the schedulers. VA has had a hard time keeping those schedulers. We train them, and then they often leave. I do believe that it's incumbent on the Secretary of VA to have long discussions with the Office of Personnel Management to make sure that the Secretary and those who work for him have the ability to adjust pay scales so that people who are there at the very ground level when a veteran comes to work or comes to be seen, treat him respectfully and stay in that job and learn what it means to talk to our veterans.
Mr. Wilkie, as you know, Senator Sullivan, Senator Rounds, Senator Bozeman, Senator Tester, other members of this committee represent states where our veterans are a long distance away from our VA facilities. Sometimes a full day's drive in some cases, Montana as big as it is. And as you may know, in the debate on the mission bill and in the markups, a choice program that works to make VA health care services available to the veteran is a key to that argument in that debate. Will you work as hard as you can and tell us what you plan to do to see to it that choice is a reality and the timing of appointments is good, and that we end the problem that we've had with veterans not being able to reach the services they deserve and they earned?
Yes, sir. And this goes to something that Senator Tester and Senator Sullivan and I talked about, and I will say that those of us from the East, even in the 21st century, do not understand the scale of the American West. In Montana, a normal journey will sometimes take 600 miles round trip to get to a VA facility. What choice means is giving those veterans and their family caregivers the opportunity to engage with VA any time of the day through things like telehealth, but also with the development of the community care networks, which will provide them access to services that VA can't provide, VA services that will be close to home, so that the burden is not on them to get to VA. The problems with choice were also were such that because it was so rapidly implemented, particularly in rural America, our providers were not being paid. Not only the small-town doctors, but those small community hospitals where veterans go to get emergency care. If we do not automate that system and make it part of an integrated community care network, we will have failed veterans, but in particular, those veterans who live in our largest states geographically.